Although Renacita is being teased and the 2nd of Jan cannot come any faster, there is some information about Huanglong that gives us an indication of what is very likely the design of each of their sentinels. If you head to Zhengzhou and change the time to late at night, you'll find 3 NPCs in the center of the city. Speak to them and you'll find the true meaning of Zhengzhou, where Xiyan literally says it has layers of meaning. What this goes to show is that Kuro are able to take many inspirations of Chinese culture, which is their home culture, make one character or city, giving it plenty of depth. And this makes it more difficult for us to find out exactly where they are getting their inspiration from. While most of the characters from Huanglong are currently affiliated with Zhengzhou, Youhu is the first character to be affiliated with a city called Chongzhou. The name Chongzhou is most likely inspired from the Chongzhen era in Chinese history. There is also Zhengzhou from the Jin dynasty and Mingxing from the Ming dynasty, which included the Chongzhen era. So at the very least, Kuro is taking inspiration for names from different periods in history. The same way Huanglong is the name of the yellow dragon of the center, and Joy is a name of a mansion from the Azure dragon of the east. This doesn't mean that the hierarchy is the same as real life, it just means that these names are inspired from these pieces of history and not just random names. During the Chongzhen era, there was a book called Shanhaijing, the most valuable book of Chinese mythology that's still very popular today. It also has an English version called Classics of Mountains and Seas. Findings in this book date back to Yu the Great, who was a legendary king for being the first to control the floods, who created the Ding and used the Rui. This is already 2 of the antiques or auspices Youhu has. The full version of this book contains most of the mythological creatures that are mentioned across all ancient Chinese culture and mythology. You'll find the inspiration Genshin used for their first lantern rite with Nian as Osile, and even the inspiration Star Rail uses for Hulei, some characters, and other parts of their Xianzhen Lofu. If you understand Chinese, then there is a link to Shanhaijing in the description. With this book, there are various creatures called dragons in English, but in eastern parts of the world, they are called Loong. Yang says that most of Huanglong Sentinels take the form of a Loong, which means that at the very least, 4 of the 7 Sentinels are dragon-like.
In Huanglong, most of the Sentinels take the shape of a Loong.
From the book, there are 4 types of the same dragon, and there are also 4 different species of dragons as well. The Jiaolong dragon, which is Joy, is a type of dragon depicted with the head of a camel, horns of a deer, body of a snake, and scales of a fish. They're also said to empower the emperor, sort of in the same way Joy did with Zhenqi. There are 3 other versions of this Jiaolong that have the same overall look with minor different features. So in other words, it's Joy with minor differences. The Yinglong also has wings, the Qiulong has horns, and the Qilong does not have any horns. This is one possibility Kuro could use for these Huanglong Sentinels. The other possibility is using different species of the same genus dragons. From the very same book, we have 3 other species of dragons. Forgive me if I don't pronounce his names correctly. There is the Pixiu, which has the body shape of a lion and the scales, wings, and head of a dragon. This creature was the symbolism of wealth and prosperity in ancient Chinese culture and is still thought of today. The next type is the Qilin, which we've mentioned before, sometimes referred to as a Kirin. These creatures are described in Chinese history with a dragon head, horse or deer body, ox tail, and 5 color pattern on their back with yellow hair on their stomach. And the final species is the Xiezhi, which has its strongest resemblance to an ox or a goat. This type of dragon notably has 1 horn, which is said to be able to provide justice in determining the innocent or guilty of a crime with a single touch. This was also the dragon that was symbolized during the Ming dynasty. These are the 2 concepts of dragons or luongs from ancient Chinese culture, which would make up 4 of the 7 sentinels. As for the other 3, they also have depictions in Shanhaijing. There's the 9-tailed fox, which may be a depiction of Hsin, the hart or the fox sentinel mentioned during the moon chasing festival. This mythical fox is also said to be the matchmaker of Yu the Great and his wife, who we theorized earlier as inspiration for Youhu. There are other similar creatures, but none of them are specifically foxes. There is the rabbit, who is mentioned during the festival, and from the same book there is a mythological depiction of a rabbit, most commonly depicted with the body of a rabbit and the head of a man, and seemingly friendly. This rabbit, however, was called the Ghost Liar because it was very deceitful. The final of the 7 could be the Feng Huang, which is still very popular today in Chinese culture. This creature was originally depicted as a combination of a male Feng and female Huang, which combine to form the Chinese phoenix called the Fenghuang. This is not the same bird as Changli because she is a vermilion bird. The Fenghuang is the symbol of love and one of the most powerful mythological beasts in ancient Chinese culture. The question that now remains is which of these Chinese dragons will Kuro use? Will they use the same species of dragons, or will they use different species from the same genus? The same species of dragons all originated during Yu the Great's period, the same person we mentioned earlier as inspiration for Yohu's antiques. The different species of dragons served as symbolism for different aspects of life throughout Chinese culture. There are other dragon types like wyverns and the more European style of fire-breathing dragons, but those are not Chinese dragons. The only non-Chinese dragon in Huanglong was the original Mortefi that had its tail way back when Wuthering Waves story was only around the appearance of mystical dragons. Mortefi was born in the New Federation, and his dragon looks like an amphitheater dragon, which is a Roman dragon. Since rewriting the story, Mortefi's dragon is no longer mentioned as European inspired. One cool little Easter egg I found: Jiyan has the Huanglong, which is the green or Azure dragon. Mortefi is currently the red or vermilion dragon, which is also the Qilin mentioned earlier. Gameplay wise, these two synergize really well. So what are the chances we get the white, black or yellow dragon to complete the team comp? Let me know your thoughts below and I will see you in the next video.